so many people are sick of consumerism right now. They don't like the idea that they see something new and shiny and they just have to buy it. They don't like the fact that it falls apart, 6 months after they buy it, and so they have to buy a new one. And so it's just, I don't know, a lot of people are sick and fed up and they don't necessarily know what to do, but there are answers that are emerging, and I don't think it's one solution that is going to unite everyone. I think it's a vast array of solutions that are all going to pop up at the same time, and that's what I'm seeing is happening throughout the country. Well, I started with $5. I was in Seattle. I walked out my front door and I looked at the door, and I had my backpack on, and I just looked at the door and I thought, okay, that was it. At this point forward, I'm walking out. I'm walking away and going throughout the country. I'm stepping away from this stationary home with no money. And I have no idea if it's going to work or not. But I realized at that moment, this is it, and I have to accept the consequences, whatever comes my way. If I have to starve a few days for, the benefit of something greater, something more intrinsic, it's worth it. And so far what I've found is that there is a lot of kindness in America. There are so many people that want to help their neighbors. They just don't see the opportunities necessarily to be able to do that. Or it's so easy to get stuck in a way of thinking, where everybody is just kind of looking out for themselves. And when I started out, I didn't know what was going to happen. I've found work along the way wherever I can. It hasn't been a lot of work. It hasn't even been enough to sustain me, I would even say, but I've found a lot of people who just wanted to help me out. I don't want to expect that. I don't want to depend on that. But it's just been really incredible the desire that people have to just help out their fellow man. I work wherever I can. I volunteer wherever I can. I have conversations with people wherever I can. If I can help someone, I do it. My goal is to always find a purpose for my life in that moment. When I was in New Orleans, there was a woman I met who she was trying to get out of an abusive relationship. She said that her boyfriend was very violent. It was a domestic abuse issue that she had, and she was afraid that he was going to murder her. And so she got out, and then she was saying, maybe I need to have him come back over because he's got his stuff here. She kicked him out. She locked the door. And she was saying, I need to let him back to get his stuff. And I was thinking, that's a bad idea. If he wants to murder you and you're going to let him back in your house, that's a bad idea. And so I found that moment purposeful for me to just to give her the idea that maybe she could send his stuff to the police department and have him pick it up there. In that moment, that's what I could provide to her, to serve her. And if everybody starts thinking in a way of how they can serve other people around them, I think that's part of that revolution that we're talking about. And that's what I've witnessed along the way. I've been the recipient of a lot of service and value, and I try to share it the same everywhere I go. Mm-hmm. And everything just kind of works out. So that's resource.
What do you think has been your greatest benefit from your trip so far?
The greatest benefit?
To you as a person.
The greatest benefit to this entire project is that I have no anxiety. I love each day. I love each place. I just posted something on Facebook yesterday saying, every place I travel to is my favorite place. And everything is new. Every day is new. And how can you not appreciate that?
But what is your version of the American dream?
My American dream is to be relevant. I think that crosses so many borders, so many issues. It's so dynamic. If you can be relevant, then you have purpose. And I see it, on the micro scale. I see it on the macro scale. In the moment, I can be purposeful, and I can be relevant to that situation, to those people that I'm interacting with. I can also be relevant, thinking in terms of structures and systems and the way people interact and the future. If you're not relevant, what are you? So that's where I find my purpose, and I really think that is what the American dream should always be if you want it to have longevity, is to be relevant, and that's my dream.
And with when I started writing the rucksack letters, it was based on a phrase from Jack Kerouac and the Dharma Bums, when he talked about the rucksack revolution, and the young people will just pack their bags and take to the hills again. And obviously you've met quite a few other hitchhikers. Do you think that revolution is coming about again, where people are now starting to get out and starting to put themselves out there at the mercy of the world, to let the world take them to where they need to go and make that next shift?
There aren't as many hitchhikers as there used to be. There's definitely a perception out there that it's more dangerous, you can't trust people. I think that's a consequence of capitalism. There's a sense of distrust. I would love if everybody in the world felt comfortable hitchhiking. If everybody had that kind of trust, where everybody could just see somebody on the side of the road and say, hey, that guy is trying to get somewhere, let's help him out. And they didn't even have to think about, the possibility of violence or, getting stolen from. I would just absolutely love that. I don't think there's nearly enough people that trust hitchhiking, but you'd be surprised how many people pick me up. A lot of them even say, I don't normally pick up hitchhikers, but you seemed okay, and so I don't know, maybe it's a good thing for people to hit the road and interact with these people and really help them to realize that we might not know each other, we might have never met, but that doesn't mean we're strangers. Everyone I meet, I don't feel like a stranger. I can meet someone within a minute or 5 minutes, and I can connect with them on the most basic level. And I think that's actually what has helped me to stay out of danger in a lot of ways. So just kind of honing in on what makes us human and being able to connect with a person. That's what relationship is about. Finding that common ground.